everyone, my name is Chloe and welcome to the start of another week of vlog style wrap up or whatever vlog, I don't know what you want to call it, but anyway, I am just popping on. I haven't finished anything, but I have started 1-2-3 by Lori Frankel, and you guys, this, like, do you ever have those times where it's like a book just comes to you and it's exactly what you want at that time? Like, not that this book is like super profound or meaningful or will like greatly impact my life, but like I knew this book was about triplets. I've got it on NetGalley and Libro FM, and so I just kind of got it because it sounded good. It's about 3 female triplets and their life experiences, so I was like, cool, sign me up. Sounds interesting. But this is a YA kind of, and they're called 1, 2, and 3. And the mom had them and wanted them to have 1-syllable name for the first one, 2-syllable name for the second, and 3 for the third. And the first one is quote unquote normal. The second one is maybe like on the spectrum somewhere, has a lot of learning disabilities, but also a lot of wonderful like savant qualities. And then the third one is physically completely handicapped. She cannot move, she cannot talk, she can't do anything. In fact, I think she is has some deformities and things, and yet her mind is brilliant. So these women or girls all suffer from different things, and they live in a town in which normal is abnormal. Like, and I'm saying quote unquote. And so the first one has some insecurities, the second one has insecurities, the third one has insecurities. And I just am loving this. Like, it's told in a really easy conversational way, and YA is kind of what I've been craving. And I just read this one because it was next on my list. It came out June 8th. I needed to read it, but it is so perfect. So it's a really long book, so I don't know if I'll feel that way like by the end, but so far so good. Really excited about it, and I wanted to get on and tell you.
Hey everyone, so I finished 1-2-3 by Lori Frankel. I keep wanting to say Valerie Frankel, but it's Lori Frankel, and I think I'm going to give it 3.5 stars. So this book, I can't remember what all I said when I introduced it, but it's about 3 triplet girls who are all from this small town called Bourne. And in this town called Bourne, most people have some sort of disability or some sort of something, either physical or mental, that is a little bit different about them. And the reason for that is because 15 years ago or whatever, there was a chemical plant that came in and dumped a bunch of stuff into the water, and it killed a bunch of people and left a bunch of people, especially like babies and stuff, with disfigurements and learning disabilities and all of these different sort of things. So now their mom has spent like all of that time trying to prove that the company knew what they were doing. And the husband, the dad, whatever, he died because of complications. And so the girls all have different things. So I really liked, and I thought it was really creative. The mom gave the first triplet a 1-syllable name, so she's Mabe. And then the second one is Monday. And then the third one is, gosh, now I can't remember. Like Maybelline or something like that. It's not Maybelline because I would have remembered that, but a 3-syllable name. So the first one, she is quote unquote normal, which in this town of Bourne makes her kind of an oddity because most people, like I said, have some sort of physical or mental disability. And so being the normal one has a lot of pressure on her, as well as some guilt and just a lot of different feelings surrounding that. And even the school system is set up to 3 tracks, like one of normal kids, one of kids with like mental disabilities, and one of kids with physical disabilities. So that was really jacked up. But anyway, so Mabe is normal. Monday has some learning disabilities, and she's very like social situations are really hard for her. She is 100% literal, and it's implied that she's somewhere on the spectrum. It's kind of mentioned at some points, but I don't think we ever get a full diagnosis. So long story short, she's got some learning disabilities, some social issues, and then just some like, she's very literal, I guess. And she has all of the books from what used to be the town library, because there's no longer a town library. Like, this town of Bourne has really, because so many people died and stuff, it has really like gotten to be this rundown town. So then the third daughter that I'm going to call Maybelline, and I know that's not right, but she is wheelchair bound and is like unable to talk. She's unable to do like quite most bodily function. She is completely like quadriplegic, and she talks through like a computerized voice, and her brain is brilliant. So she is very mentally sound, but physically has some disabilities. So between the three of them, they've all got a very unique perspective, and I really thought that was valuable. Now they're in their teens somewhere, and this power plant is wanting to come back, and they have a son who is the girl's age. Our groceries are here, so hold on one second. Okay, so we have our groceries now, but anyway, so this power plant, chemical plant, whatever, is wanting to come back, and so the girls kind of take on this like junior sleuthing to find out and prove that the company knew what they were doing the first time. So hopefully they could stop them from coming back. And like I said, there's a son that's their age, so there is a romance. Two of the three have a really big crush on him, and honestly, I just wish that wasn't in there. So often a romance, like especially in these teen books, if I feel like are thrown in, and they just don't need to be. Like a friendship would have been fine. I just felt like it was not good, and one sister kind of betrays the other because of this guy, and I thought it was out of character. I thought it was resolved way too early and like quick, and like it was unrealistic, out of character, felt weird. So the junior sleuthing thing is not my favorite, especially like some of the scenes were like, that would never ever happen. And so that was kind of like a buzzkill for me, and it just didn't seem like the whole thing didn't seem to make sense. Like there were some details and elements of this chemical plant that were like harped on that we really got a lot of detail about, and then other parts that I'm like, wait, what? Like things aren't quite adding up there. And so then the ending is very like wham bam bam, thank you ma'am, like it was just like, what? I don't know. It was interesting to say the least. But there were parts that like dragged on, and I don't know, like the second half of this just kind of lost me. And I don't know if it's me or if it's the book, but it was a really interesting premise. And like, if you like Erin Brockovich, it was kind of that kind of story. And so, it was interesting for sure. I just kind of wanted, like, I loved the part in the beginning where we're really getting to know the girls and their dynamics with each other, their different personality traits, their dynamics with their peers. And so I loved that part. And then the whole part about the chemical plant was hit and miss for me. So overall, 3.5 stars. I would recommend it, but it wasn't my favorite. So next I picked up December by Elizabeth Winthrop. And this is one that I read the first chapter in my try a chapter tag for the lowest rated books on my shelf. And I think I just figured out why it's the lowest rated. I'm like a third of the way through, and this is about a couple who has this daughter who is selectively mute. We don't know what happened, why this girl has chosen not to speak, but she's about to get kicked out of school. Like she's been doing like homeschool with the school's curriculum, and they're about to say no, if she can't come back physically, she's not coming back. And there's just a lot of things coming to a head. And so I'm having kind of a hard time placing like the time period, because you can tell it's modern, but they also live very like rural and very simply, I think, in a way that suggests that they don't have some technology. So I don't really know a whole lot. Like I can't really get a grasp on context. And then also right now there's like some dream sequences and stuff going on that are very, very problematic. So I don't know how that's all going to resolve, what the characters are thinking or whatever. I just got to that part, so I can't really speak much to it. But if this continues, I would guess this is why it's got low stars, but I don't know. So that's what I'm reading. Now we've got our groceries. I've got to go home. Tonight we're doing a meal from HelloFresh, thanks to Steph from Steph's Romance Book Talk. She had some credits because she uses them, and so she could share with a friend, and so we got one, and tonight we've got our first meal. So yeah, I'm gonna go prep that. At least I don't have to think about dinner a whole lot. I think it's like somewhat minimal prep. I don't really know, but that is it. So thank you, Steph, and we'll see you when I finish December. Hey everyone, it is the next day, Thursday, and we just left the bookstore. So we have a local used and new bookstore, and I have like $100 of credit there because I used to always take my books there. And so we went, me and the girls, Jeremy's out of town, so me and the girls went to just kind of browse and see what we could find. I also took 2 more bags of books, And they have really, so long story short, this bookstore was wonderful, like forever. And then it burned down and they did not rebuild for like 5 years. And now they have rebuilt and they are just like kind of trying to, we don't have a Barnes and Noble or anything. So I feel like they're like kind of trying to do that kind of thing. So they're like focused more on new books. They have a coffee shop. Now they're doing like snacks and stuff and like breakfast burritos and all that kind of stuff. And so their used books is up top and it's just like no rhyme or reason, all sorts of books. And so it's definitely not something to do with little kids, but we looked at kids books and saw some fun toys and things. So that was good. Dropped off those books, and so we'll just wait and see. They just text or call you and let you know. So yeah, I was like planning to like vlog in there and like make it fun, which the upstairs is not accessible, so I left my stroller downstairs. So I was carrying Annie, and I mean, it was not gonna happen, and I didn't find anything. So now we are gonna go do a story walk, which if you've seen this channel for a while, you have seen the story walk. So we're gonna go do one of those because it rained last night, and so it's like 75 or 80 degrees, but it is so muggy. So we're gonna do that. And then I finished December last night by Elizabeth Winthrop, and I finished and I'm like, what did I just read? I am giving it 2 stars because so it's about this girl who is like 11 years old and she went selectively mute like a year ago. And so it's her life with her parents, and her parents have kind of a strained marriage. And this is really just like a slice of life of like them trying to take her to all these different therapists to try to find out why she's not talking and what's wrong. And so like the whole time it alludes to some sort of trauma or something. In the end, it's just she don't want to. And like there's weird threads started of like kind of a magical realism thing that is started but super underdeveloped. There's like a weird relationship with the dad and somebody else, but that is just like thrown in there, not really developed. And like there's just so many things that I'm like, what? And their dog has cancer, and that's not even like, what? Like, what does that have to do with anything? And it was just a really, really boring book, and like I don't know what the point is. And I guarantee I'm gonna forget this like tomorrow probably because it just meant nothing. So gave that 2 stars. I can see why it's the lowest rated on my shelf, but yeah, so we're gonna go do the story walk and then I will check in later. Hey everyone, it is Saturday and we just left the farmer's market, and now Jeremy and Ainsley are in the store getting oil to change the oil in our cars, and me and Annie are waiting in the car. So I thought it'd be a good time to let you know that I finished The Girl Least Likely, and this is one that I have on NetGalley because it comes out maybe Tuesday, I think. And so I think I'm gonna give it 3.5 stars. It was cute. It was really cute. It's a coming of age story about our main character Gretchen. She like has a crush on her boy best friend, but there's also a couple other guys, so there's definitely like a love square in this book. And so there's that element of it, but really what this book is about, I'm going to call it a contemporary over a romance, because it's really about Gretchen coming of age, finding herself, finding her voice. So she really is into comedy. So she gets into comedy, but she uses a fake ID because she's only 17. So she has this like alternate persona. However, it is somebody she knows. It's a girl who like kissed her cousin's boyfriend. And so she is not a huge fan of this girl. And so she like has her ID and pretends like she just makes this persona given that girl's name, and is this comedian, and she's hilarious. She acts like she's 21. And so she's kind of always like waiting for the shoe to drop. But when she's on stage, she's able to like let herself go in a way that she can't otherwise. So it's finding that voice and also finding romance, finding who she wants to be with, how that wants to work out. So I thought it was really cute. It didn't hold my attention the whole time. Like there were some times that were just a little less interesting than others, but overall 3.5 stars. I would say it's cute. She sees herself obviously as the girl least likely. She's not really anything exceptional. She's the third kid, so she kind of feels like her brother and sister both had different things. I think she's the third kid, but she has a brother and sister, and they both have like exceptionalities that she does not. And so she just kind of feels like ho-hum, and then she finds comedy, and that really helps break her out of her shell. So I haven't read about a comedian in maybe ever, and so I really liked that element. And like I said, it is kind of a love square, for sure, love triangle, and those aren't my favorite at all, but like, I think this one is done pretty well. So I'm not a huge, like, I don't like it. I'm kind of indifferent, I guess, on love triangle. So if you really don't like it, I don't know if you'll like this one, but overall, like, it didn't bother me. So, cute story, 3.5 stars. Check it out if you want to. So that is the end of the week. I am reading something different, but I'm going to save that for next week, so I have some time to edit. I am not going to say anything about house stuff because we are in a pickle again, a pickle. So we are under contract on a house, but inspections were Thursday, so I didn't want to say anything until I knew, and I still don't know what's going to happen. So you guys, anxiety is high, tension is high. Lord help me. If you guys pray for me. So, I'll let you know next week what happens, because we have until Tuesday to make decisions. And so, you guys, deep breath. It's going to be a great week. Let me know what you're up to this weekend or this week whenever you're watching this. And I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.